Hey guys, how's it going? Azoh here, and today we're going to take a look at Vermilion's Zed build. Now if you don't know who Vermilion is, he is an incredibly skilled assassin player on the Korean server in high elo. And his build actually includes Bork, which is an item that a lot of people now think is useless because of the nerfs to it and the cost increase. But it's still an item that's rather consistent, and above all it makes your gameplay and build consistent. That's why it's also used by a lot of pro players at the moment. Bjergsen, for example, still builds Bork and Zed. So this is his current build sequence for Zed. Now the reason for getting Cutlass instead of just finishing Yomas is that he says that Yomas in itself cannot really secure kills easily, particularly in early game. However, a Cutlass easily secures kills with the slow and the magic damage. It just adds up really well with your ultimate. I agree with this. This is why Cutlass was really good buy back in the day when Bork wasn't nerfed when he had Brutalizer. I also like him going immediately into Last Whisper very early, because as it is right now, the Cunning Tree plus Yoma's Ghostblade plus armor penetration in runes gives you a lot of flat armor penetration, meaning the main armor you're going to have to be dealing with is bonus armor, not armor per level, which your flat armor penetration already takes care of. Meaning a Last Whisper, which is bonus armor penetration, would work very well. However, I disagree with Yoma's not being enough to secure kills on its own. I think since it got the buff on AD, and with the active and the 20 flat armor penetration, I think it secures kills pretty well. The only issue could be that it's a bit more difficult to hit Qs without a slow from Cutlass, because the Cutlass slow definitely makes hitting Qs much easier, and it makes sticking to a target much easier, because slowing down a target is easier to sticking to them than speeding yourself up, because it takes longer for them to get to safety, essentially. Pretty much my only issue with the build is that you're going Dirk into Warhammer into Cutlass instead of Yomas, even though you have the two components for it, and then Yomas and then Bork. And it's at this time it's particularly important to snowball around the time you get a Yomas, and maybe a little bit before that. And at that time, spending money on a Cutlass instead of just finishing Yomas, especially now that Cutlass has had its price increased, is kinda risky. Other than that though, this build is a lot more consistent than a lot of the builds you see right now with a lot of armor penetration, especially the ones I like to do, because Bork in itself, it just makes your build consistent. It makes sure that you do get the damage, makes sure that you do have the assassination potential. It's not as snowbally as, say, a full armor penetration build or like a Tiamat build, but it's consistent and it works well, and it works in high elos. This doesn't specifically mean that you should build it in every elo or in every skill level, but this build makes Zed very consistent. And I do want to emphasize this point, because if you're having no problem around the Yomas spike, which basically every single Zed build is Yomas first at the moment, and on top of that you're hitting your Qs, you're sticking to your target, you're killing the enemy carry every single time you go in, then this might not be the build for you. In summary, Bork is a great item, but you have to build its components in a very certain time, around the Yomas time. Before Yomas, you get the Cutlass, you get the Yomas, you get the Bork, and then that synergy works really well, because Yomas plus Bork is extremely sticky. You will always hit your spells, and it makes assassination very consistent. On top of that, you do get attack speed, which makes your extremely high AD more valuable, as you can now use it more effectively for dragons, nashers, and turrets, as well as, you know, champions. In either case, I'll be taking a look at my Zed build in my next video, which will include both my preferred build at the moment, as well as all the different kind of items you can build on Zed and when you should build them. If you guys enjoyed the video, you can consider liking, commenting, favoriting, subscribing, etc. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Boosh.